Nanda, Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, let us continue our reading from teachings of Lord Chaitanya. In his prayers in the Hari Vamsha, so yesterday our Mohan Prabhu asked the question that who wrote this book Hari Vamsha. So I was reading about it, trying to check. So Hari Vamsha is a part of Mahabharata, Hari Vamsha Parva, and it is written by Srila Vyasdev. In his prayers in the Hari Vamsha, Indra admitted that he could not understand the situation of Golok even by asking Brahma. Devotees of the Narayan expansion of Krishna. Narayan is expansion of Lord Krishna. So the devotees who are devotees of Lord Narayan, or those who are worshipping the Supreme Lord in the form of Lord Narayan, they will attain Vaikuntha planets. But it is very difficult to reach the Golok planet. Indeed, that planet can be reached only by the devotees of Lord Chaitanya or Lord Sri Krishna. So, Indra admitted that even after asking Brahma, he could not understand the situation uh, or the details about Golok. And the devotees of Narayan, Narayan is expansion of Lord Krishna, non-different from Lord Krishna. But of course, the qualities exhibited by Narayan is different than those of Krishna. In the form of Narayan, the Supreme Lord does not exhibit all the 64 qualities. Only in the form of Lord Krishna, in his original form, does the Supreme Lord Krishna exhibit all the qualities. So those who are devotees of Lord Narayan or the Narayan form of expansion of Krishna, they attain the Vaikuntha planets, but it is very difficult to reach the Golok planet. Indeed, that planet can be reached only by the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya or Lord Sri Krishna. Indra then said to Lord Krishna, "You have descended from that Golok planet in the spiritual world, and the disturbance I created was all due to my foolishness. Therefore, Indra begged Lord Krishna to excuse him." So when Lord Krishna decided to uh, uh, bring down or rather teach Indra a lesson, because he was very puffed up with this pride that he is the Lord of all the Devatas and he is the king of all the Devatas, not Lord, but he is the king of all the Devatas. So, and when his worship was stopped, when the Brajavasis, every year they used to worship Indra for the rains, and Krishna said, "Why should you worship Indra for the rains? Because ultimately the Supreme Lord Vishnu, he is the controller. Only by his permission and only by his will, everything is happening. Then why should you worship Indra? Indra is just a servant of Lord Vishnu. So therefore, why instead of worshipping Indra, you should worship the Govardhan, Giriraj Govardhan, because it is the Govardhan, it is Giriraj Govardhan who is giving all the required things to all of us. It is giving so much nice grass, such nice grass to all the cows, and therefore our cows are so healthy. They are so happy. They are giving such nice milk only because of Giriraj Govardhan. Then what is the use of praying to Indra? So Krishna stopped that worship, and Indra, when he did not receive that worship, he got very angry. So by this, we understand that in the material world also, because we are all conditioned, the conditioned souls, the materialistic persons, they get very angry when their pride is, somebody tries to step on their pride. So if they are not properly, if their ego is not properly massaged, they get very, very disappointed, and therefore the anger, they get very agitated. So so Indra is actually, the behavior of Indra is exactly how the materialist behavior is. So then Indra realizes that, oh, Lord Krishna has descended from that Golok planet, which I could not even understand even after Brahma explained to me. From that spiritual world, from that Golok planet, Krishna has descended. And I have created so much disturbance for that Supreme Lord just out of my foolishness. Therefore, Indra begged Lord Krishna to excuse him, to forgive him. The last phase of the pastimes of Lord Krishna is described in Srimad Bhagavatam as Maushal Leela. Maushal Leela. This series of pastimes includes Lord Krishna's mysterious disappearance from the material world. In that pastime, the Lord played the part of being killed by a hunter. So many people say that Lord Krishna died because a hunter, the arrow came and hit Krishna, and therefore Krishna died. How can the Supreme Lord die? Death is for the materialists, for the conditioned souls. Krishna is beyond all this. So in that pastime, Lord Krishna played the part just like in a drama. So in that pastime, in that Leela, the Supreme Lord Krishna plays the role of being killed by a hunter, that as if apparently that hunter, he shot the arrow and it came and hit Lord Krishna, and then Krishna died. It's a role, it's a part that he has played, it's a pastime that he has exhibited. There are many improper explanations of scriptural passages describing the last portion of Lord Krishna's pastimes, such as the explanation of the descriptions of Lord Krishna as the incarnation of a hare. But Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu properly explained these passages and gave the right interpretation. As far as Lord Krishna being the incarnation of a hare is concerned, this is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is mentioned the Vishnu Puran and the Mahabharata. So it is mentioned in three places in Srimad Bhagavatam, in Vishnu Puran and the Mahabharata. In the Mahabharata, it is stated that Lord Vishnu snatched a grey hair and a black hair from his own head, and that these two hairs entered into the wombs of two queens of the Yadu dynasty, namely Rohini and Devaki. So, Mother Rohini and Mother Devaki. It is also stated that Lord Krishna descends to the material world in order to vanquish all the demons. Lord Krishna doesn't have to take birth like the other conditioned souls. Lord Krishna himself descends by his own sweet will. When Lord Krishna descended as the son of Mother Devaki, he did not enter the womb like other conditioned souls, but the Supreme Lord came in his four-handed Vishnu form and spoke to Devaki and Vasudev. And then he said that I am now appearing as your son. And after saying so, Lord Vishnu again comes to the two-handed form just like a small baby, takes the form of a baby. But even when the Supreme Lord takes the form of a baby, the Supreme Lord is still the Supreme Lord. It does not mean that the Supreme Lord has forgotten his the supremeness. No, the Supreme Lord is always the Supreme Lord, no matter which form the Lord takes. So it is also stated that Lord Krishna descends to material world in order to vanquish all the demons. Some say that Lord Krishna is the incarnation of Lord Vishnu, who lies in the ocean of milk within this universe. So there is a confusion. Many people have this confusion with that from Lord Vishnu, who is lying in the ocean of milk, Lord Krishna is the incarnation of that Vishnu. But Srila Rupa Goswami, in his Laghu Bhagavat Amrit, along with his commentator Sri Baladev Vidyabhushan, have discussed these points fully and have established the exact truth. Sri Jiva Goswami also discusses these points in the Krishna Sandarbha. When Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu finished his instructions to Sri Sanatan Goswami, Srila Sanatan Goswami, now being empowered and enlightened, was so transcendently pleased that he at once fell at the feet of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said, I was born in a very low family and I have always associated with lowly people. Therefore, I am the lowest of sinners. Yet, you are so kind that you have taught me lessons which are not even understood by Lord Brahma, who is the greatest being in this universe. By your grace, I have appreciated the conclusions which you have taught me. But I am so low that I cannot even touch a drop of the ocean of your instructions. Thus, if you want me, who am nothing but a lame man, to dance, then please give me your benediction by placing your feet on my head. So, Sri Sanatan Goswami, this is the sign, the mood, the symptom of an enlightened devotee, of an empowered devotee. So Srila Sanatan Goswami, he's saying that he's born in a very low family. Was Srila Sanatan Goswami born in a very low family? No, he was born in a Brahmin family. He was born in a very very um, um, high family, high uh, in societal terms, also in a very good family. And he's saying that I have always associated with lowly people, which is not true. Although he was forced to work for the Nawab, but from his heart, he never associated with them. He was constantly meditating and serving the Supreme Lord. He was constantly meditating on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, and he was constantly remembering Mahaprabhu. But he was serving to his best capacity. Therefore, he is saying that he is lowest of sinners. This is for us to learn that this is when Srila Sanatan Goswami is saying all these things, he is not thinking that I'm saying this for others to learn. But from these great acharyas, from these great teachers, we should learn what is the mood, what should be the mood of a devotee. Not to imitate, not to just imitate and externally say, oh, I'm lowest of all sinners, oh, I'm lowest of all sinners, just for the sake of saying not like that. But we should actually understand our real position. When we understand our real position, then we will really understand that yes, we are really lowest of all sinners. And then Srila Sanatan Goswami is saying that yet you are so kind, Mahaprabhu, you are so kind that you have taught me lessons which are not even understood by Lord Brahma. So something that is durlabh, that is very, it's not possible for Lord Brahma also to understand the essence that Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught Srila Sanatan Goswami. And why the example of Lord Brahma is taken? Because Lord Brahma is the greatest being in this material universe. He is the father of this material, Brahmanda, of this Brahma, whose whose egg is it, who is taking care of the, who has created it, the Lord Brahma. Therefore, Lord Brahma's example is given. He has four heads. We all have one head, one brain. Brahma is given four heads, four brains, intelligence of the highest intelligence, because he has to take care of so many things, so many details, minute details. Therefore, Lord Brahma's example is given here, who is the greatest being of this universe. Even he cannot understand these tattva, these topics. But but by the mercy, by the blessings, by the grace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Sanatan Goswami has perfectly understood all of it. So he is saying, Sanatan Goswami is saying that by your grace, Mahaprabhu, I have appreciated the conclusions which you have taught me. Many times we may hear the topics, but we may not be able to appreciate it. We may not be able to absorb it. We may not be able to accept it. Unless the grace of the Supreme Lord is there, it is not possible for us to understand. Therefore, we should always beg for the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Without the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, without the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, we cannot understand the essence of all these topics. And who is Nityananda Prabhu? Nityananda Prabhu is Adi Guru. Our spiritual master is representative manifestation of that same Nityananda Prabhu. Without the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, one cannot get the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which means without the mercy of our spiritual master, one cannot get the mercy of the Supreme Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Lord Krishna. So by the mercy of Lord Krishna, one gets a bona fide spiritual master, and by the mercy of the bona fide spiritual master, one gets Krishna. So here Sri Sanatan Goswami is saying that by your grace, I have appreciated the conclusions which you have taught me. But I am so low that I cannot even touch a drop of the ocean of your instructions. Mahaprabhu gave so many instructions. Srila Sanatan Goswami said that I can understand, I can appreciate the conclusions, but what is my qualification that I will be able to, you have given this ocean of instructions. I cannot even touch a drop. So therefore, if you want me to dance according to your tune, Mahaprabhu, oh Krishna, if you want me to dance according to your tune, I am nothing but a lame man. I have no qualification, no disqualification, nothing. I am nothing but a lame man. But if you want me to dance according to your will, then please give me your benediction by placing your feet on my head. Srila Sanatan Goswami is praying this to Mahaprabhu. So what happens? Thus, Sri Sanatan Goswami prayed for the Lord's confirmation that his teachings would actually evolve in his heart, in Sanatan Goswami's heart, by the grace of Mahaprabhu. So when Srila Sanatan Goswami prays like this, Mahaprabhu places his lotus feet on the head of Sri Sanatan Goswami. That is a confirmation that yes, now when Sri Sanatan Goswami will write these books, they will perfectly evolve just as Mahaprabhu desires. So Sanatan Goswami prayed for the Lord's confirmation that the teachings of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the book that we are reading, his teachings would actually evolve in his heart. In whose heart? In the heart of Sri Sanatan Goswami by his grace. Whose grace? By the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Otherwise, Sanatan Goswami knew that there was no possibility of his being able to describe the Lord's teachings. Who can describe the Lord's teachings? Nobody except other than the Lord himself. Therefore, unless the Lord personally empowers some personally gives his grace upon someone, it is not possible to speak such topics or to explain such topics, to describe such or elaborate such topics. It is not possible for anybody. The purport of this is that the acharyas or the spiritual masters, the great teachers, are authorized by the higher authorities. Instruction alone cannot make one an expert. Very important point. Many times we may get an instruction, but just by getting an instruction alone, we will not become an expert that yes, now I got an instruction. Now if I just try to do this instruction, it will be successful. It doesn't happen that way. Instruction alone cannot make one an expert unless one is blessed by the spiritual master or the acharya. Such teachings cannot become fully manifested. So we also need the blessings and grace. So the instruction is coming, but we must seek blessings and grace of our spiritual master so that we are able to fulfill that instruction. And when our spiritual master blesses us, when his grace and blessings are there, when he approves that yes, you will be able to do this, don't worry, that is when we are able to fully manifest those teachings and those instructions. If we see my spiritual master Srila Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada gave him so many instructions For an ordinary person, it is simply impossible. A person may not even, the instructions see, look, they will outlive a person's lifespan. Those many instructions, and not some simple instructions, instructions which even actually are uh, very difficult to achieve. But if we see Srila Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, how all those instructions are manifesting. So, um, so this is, we understand that the blessings of the spiritual master, the Acharya, is very important. Only then one can fulfill the instructions of the spiritual master. So we need instructions and we also need the blessings. So we should seek such blessings from the spiritual master, that please bless me so that I can fulfill your instructions. Otherwise, I do not have any qualification. I have qualifications, disqualifications cannot even make anybody an expert actually. Therefore, one should seek the mercy of the spiritual master so that his instructions can develop within oneself. The intelligence starts coming. How to make this instruction uh, fructify or manifest? How do I manifest this instruction? After receiving the prayers of Sri Sanatan Goswami, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu placed his feet on Sanatan's head and gave him the benediction that all the Lord's instructions would fully develop within him. Hari Bol. So we'll pause here for today. This was a very, very beautiful section and very, very hope giving, very assuring. So thank you very much, dear devotees, for your association. Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, you have to unmute and then.
Now you can listen me.
Yes, now I can hear you.
Here we have read it yesterday, also in the beginning of today, that the uh, mm, above the material, the universe, there is a Shiva Dhamma, where Lord
Hmm.
Shiva and wife
Mother
reside.
Parvati. Hmm.
Above that Shiva Dhamma, there is spiritual sky, which
Hmm.
is called Vaikuntha, while
Hmm.
all the Vaikuntha planets are there. And above there, above the Vaikuntha planets, there is Krishna's planet,
Hmm.
where Lord Krishna resides. Now,
Hmm.
in the Vaikunthas, that is above the Shivodama, who resides there?
All the Narayan forms of Lord Krishna, all the different Narayan forms. So all the other
Okay, okay,
forms and
okay, okay.
incarnations
Hmm.
of the Lord
Huh,
are in the
huh.
Vaikuntha
That
planet.
means,
And the
huh.
original form, Lord Krishna, is in Golok Vrindavan.
Perfectly, perfectly okay. Understood, understood. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay. Hare Krishna. So, वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रील जय पताका स्वामी गुरु महाराज की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। टीचिंग्स ऑफ लॉर्ड चैतन्य बुक की जय। और श्री गुरु एंड श्री गौरांगा निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।
हरि हरि बोल श्री श्यामा करुणामयी माता जी की जय। हरि
निताई गौर
बोल।
प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।